Am I in the wrong for giving my manager diarrhea after eating my lunch? I never thought that something I had been prepared to do my whole life would leave me feeling so anxious and scared and guilty. I, 20 female, recently had trouble with someone stealing my lunch at work. Typical office drama that I never thought would actually happen to me. I would be less upset if this person was just taking a few pieces, but they're eating all my food, drinking all my juice, and leaving the dirty, empty container inside the fridge. I was really upset to the point of crying and rage because I hate it when people touch my food. It's something I prepared exclusively for myself with the intention of improving my health and bad eating habits, but it's a damn rat that's enjoying my meals. So to catch the office rat, I spent 2 weeks starting my plan by telling my close colleagues that I couldn't go to the bathroom and that I needed some tips. Then I made an appointment with the doctor, not because I was sick, but to have proof in my favor so that HR wouldn't try to accuse me of anything later. Just 2 days ago, I put a lot of laxative in my food and juice. The office rat struck again and they ate everything and left the dirty bowl with nothing inside, which brought me a small dark happiness. Today, I found out that the little thief was our manager, thanks to rumors and gossip saying that he was in the hospital due to diarrhea. I don't know if it's true that he's in the hospital because I gave him a safe dose of laxative, but I'm sure he'll have a stomachache for at least 2 days. Initially, I was happy because this will serve as a lesson, but on the other hand, I'm very worried about his health. At first, I was very angry, but now I'm worried that HR will call me in and punish me for this, even though I'm the victim of the stolen lunch. On one hand, I feel revenge, but I'm afraid of losing my job, or that my manager will take revenge on me. I know I might be exaggerating, but I really don't know. Am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for telling my husband that I don't want to be a single mom of 3 kids? So, my husband, 42 male, and I, 31 female, have been married for 12 years. We have 2 kids, 8 male and 4 female. Our marriage is not great. His mother and sister often give unsolicited advice on my parenting, our marriage, and life in general. It's better the last few months since I sat down with my husband multiple times. We talked and this time he listened, so they backed off. Not completely, but it is better. In the last few weeks, husband has started mentioning about having a 3rd child, which fills me with dread. I love children, always wanted a big family, but it would be too much. I cook, clean, take care of the kids, and work part-time from home. He doesn't really help with the house, which I'm fine with, nor with the kids, which is the problem. I changed all the diapers, woke up at night, I take care of the fevers, doctor's appointments, school, play dates, everything. Mere thought of now going through another pregnancy, then taking care of a baby makes me want to cry. I know I would have to do it all practically alone, because my husband provides and women have been doing it for centuries. I should pull my weight and not be spoiled. It all culminated last night. After another of his, I take great care of you and the kids, we should have a 3rd, monologues, I snapped. I told him that he really doesn't. The kids barely know him. When he comes home from work, he doesn't pay attention to them, except to snap at our daughter when she's being too loud. He doesn't know anything about our days because he doesn't ask, and I stopped telling him because he wasn't listening anyway. He's not a great father nor husband as he likes to preach, and I have no desire to be a single mom of a 3rd child. 2 are quite enough, thank you. He stared at me dumbfounded, then called me the C word, delusional, and ungrateful, then stormed out to his mother's house. So, am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for leaving my mother's party after she insulted my daughter? I, 36 female, have a stepdaughter, 14 female, Anna. Her father and I married when Anna was 2. I consider her to be my real daughter in every way that matters, and love her just as much as my biological children. Most of my family adores Anna. She's a very sweet and hardworking girl who does her best to make them proud. However, my mother, 55 female, appears to not. She's never outright said that she dislikes my daughter or why, but I've always thought it's because Anna was my biological child. I've been teaching Anna to cook for a few years now. She asked me last year if she could start bringing her cooking to family gatherings and potlucks, and I of course agreed. My mother started critiquing Anna's dishes. It began with just suggesting that she add different spices or cook an ingredient a little longer, but over the past few months it's been getting worse. She doesn't criticize the dishes of any family members. This past Thanksgiving, she told Anna that the casserole she made was disgusting and inedible. I told my mother to stop criticizing Anna and that she was doing her best, but she just brushed me off, which was the final straw. My family was in town this week to celebrate my mother's birthday. I had some curry that my mother had made about 6 months ago and given to me to freeze, so I reheated it and brought it to the party, and told everyone that Anna worked very hard to make it just like her grandmother always did. Immediately, my mother started criticizing the curry, saying how Anna had added too much spice and overcooked the chicken. She even went as far as to tell Anna that she should stop bringing food to potlucks altogether. I hadn't originally intended to make a big deal out of this, but that comment crossed the line. I informed my mother that it was her own curry that I had reheated, and Anna had not actually cooked it. She immediately started sputtering and backpedaling, saying she was just trying to give constructive criticism to make Anna a better cook, but I knew she really didn't believe it. I asked her why she would treat my own stepdaughter so badly, and she admitted that she didn't see Anna as her real grandchild. This was the final straw for me. I found my husband, Anna, and my other children and told them that we had to leave, explaining what my mother said. We probably won't be attending any family gatherings for the foreseeable future either. My mother has gone full scorched earth on Facebook and most family members have taken her side. She says that I ruined the party by leaving and that I destroyed our relationship for someone who isn't even my real child. My husband is on my side, but he thinks that we shouldn't have left the party since I'd already proven my point. So, this weekend I got very drunk and told my boyfriend's friend's wife that he's cheating on her. I regret this a lot and created a big mess for everyone involved. I'm looking for any advice on how to potentially try to salvage these relationships. My boyfriend and I have been together for about a year and a half, and he recently bought a ring, but he hasn't proposed. I think that might now be out of the window because of this weekend I got very drunk and stupidly and carelessly, and I cannot believe I did this, said to the friend's wife that the friend isn't faithful to her. This man does cheat on his wife constantly, as does his other friend who was there with us that night with his pregnant wife. I have a lot of issues surrounding all of this, and I've talked to my boyfriend about how much it bothers me a ton, and he basically has said that these are long-term friends and their actions aren't his responsibility or his fault. I do really trust my boyfriend and love him so much, but I have serious trauma about married men being unfaithful because my boyfriend prior to this was secretly married and it really messed me up. I've projected that resentment and anxiety onto his friends, and I felt it inside but kept it in. Up until Saturday, when I made the comment to his wife while wasted. It caused a fight between them. My boyfriend and I went home, and I texted the wife the next day to apologize, and also said that I was projecting things when I told her about the cheating. My boyfriend asked me to cover it up, and I did, because I wanted to try to somehow preserve the relationship between my boyfriend and I, and not jeopardize a friend's marriage, even though it gutted me to do so on a lot of levels. I know my feelings of anger about the cheating friends are valid, but it absolutely wasn't my place to say anything. I'm looking into therapy to handle my anger on infidelity, and I'm considering seeking treatment for alcohol too, because I think I've been using that to cope the painful feelings I still have that are left over from my last relationship. But I'm freaking out because now I've created this giant mess, both for my boyfriend, his friend, wife, and for the relationship between my boyfriend and I. I damaged his trust a ton, and I know I look like a liar and a manipulator. Am I in the wrong for causing a scene when my sister stole my pregnancy announcement? My sister, Lila, 28 female, and I, 34 female, are both children of a single mother. Growing up, I was always closer to our mother since we were closer in age and had similar interests. I was also very quiet and well behaved while my sister was wild. We grew up in the sheltered suburbs, so her behavior wasn't nearly at the level of a lot of kids generally, but it was to a point of stress for my mom. Many moons ago, my sister and my ex-boyfriend started a relationship. I was alright with it since he was my ex-boyfriend from high school. I made a mistake after she got engaged to him, and I'm not justifying this, but when my ex and I had that moment, I gave in and slept with him. I immediately regretted it and told my mom the next morning while crying. She was upset at me but understood, and when she tried to console my sister, Lila blew up at her and said that my mom was taking my side instead of hers and was mad that my mom consoled me or whatever. She didn't talk to my mom for a long time after that. She's pretty happy now. She's got her life together and earns good money. Her husband is rich and she has this cute baby girl. My mom dotes on the baby, and ever since Lila made up with her, takes Lila's side on everything because she's scared of losing her. I recently found out that I'm pregnant. I currently don't have a job and I'm living with my best friend. The baby's father will not be in the picture. After the shit show that was this year, this child is a blessing for me and I'm really happy and couldn't wait to tell my mom. Yesterday we were meeting for a picnic in the park and I was really excited to make my announcement. I had made cupcakes with blue and pink frosting for everyone. Before I could tell anyone, my sister let everyone know that she's pregnant also. She's 5 months along and knows the gender. Everyone was so elated and I was a bit hurt but decided to make my announcement as well and reveal my cupcakes. My mom was silent when I told everyone, and when I prodded her, she said that she was worried for me since I don't have a job and she doesn't know how I'm going to survive raising this baby by myself. I started crying and told her of course she's going to criticize me and compliment my sister and that the favoritism is starting to show. My mom got hurt and said it wasn't her intention, and then my stepdad spoke up about how she was right and it isn't about favoritism since my sister has got everything figured out and that he doesn't know if I'm capable of raising my child by myself. I yelled at all of them for underestimating me, and just because I don't have some fancy job doesn't mean I can't raise my baby. My dad later called me and said that he's sorry if my feelings were hurt, but that I really ruined the mood for the picnic by asking my mom for her thoughts and ruined my sister's announcement as well as mine. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but I just want to prove it to them. So, am I? How do I repair my relationship with my boyfriend and his family after what I suggested to his sister? I'm 25, he's 25, and she's 19. So, I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, who we'll call G, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings. M, 23 male, A, 21 male, and T, 19 female. All of them are still at college and still live at home with their mom, 55 female, and dad, 55 male, while my boyfriend and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting first-class tickets, a high-end hotel, etc. One night, G and I were supposed to have dinner with his family. While we were at their house, T mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. As this is an anniversary trip for the parents, I suggested to T that she could do her parents a solid and maybe stay back home and out of their hair to give her parents time away from the kids this summer. Or maybe she could pay her own way so that her parents could save money. T asked me why she'd give up a trip to France, and I told her it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. I kept trying to tell her how nice it would be and how her parents would probably thank her for giving them space. At some point, Em interrupted us and told me to stop meddling in their family affairs, that I was overstepping, and to either apologize for pressuring T or leave the house. I told him that I didn't mean to make anyone upset, but when their dad came into the room and asked them what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave the house and said I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was making up a problem and pressuring T to solve it. For some background information, the others are invited, but they're older, so I assume that they could just go and do their own thing. I'm also not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that T starts making money on her own so that she can value it more. She's just getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for. Me and G went back to our apartment and we haven't been speaking. Where do I go from here? My husband's pregnant mistress begged me to leave him and I refused. Where do I go from here? I don't even know what she qualifies as, if mistress is fitting or not. It was a drunken one-night mistake in my husband's words. They run in the same work circles and field but don't work together. My husband was dropped off at our house 2 months ago, drunk off his ass after a company event. He was crying and out of it, blabbering about nonsensical things. I tried sobering him up, but his legs couldn't even support him, and I couldn't drag him to the couch, so he slept it off on the ground, and the next day he confessed to everything. He was crying, and I've only seen him cry a handful of times in all of the years of marriage, and he said that everything was foggy, and he doesn't remember much, but he slept with her. I won't talk about my reaction because I can only describe it as violent. Not physically, but I unloaded on him and sobbed and screamed, and then lied to our kids after I woke them up. We tested him for substances because what he was describing, foggy memory, didn't drink much, etc., was assault, and as awful as it is, I felt a little bit of a relief that it might have been, and that he hadn't willingly cheated on me, but there was no trace of it in his system. The past 2 months have been brutal, but we're slowly working on it in therapy. Some may call it weak that I didn't divorce him, but I just can't bring myself to do it, and believe me, I thought a lot about it. He hadn't had contact with her since that night until she got his number and sent him a picture of her blood work a few days ago. She's pregnant and is asking him to meet up. That sent us into another spiral, but we agreed that I would meet her because there's an innocent life on the line. I wish I could say that she's awful and I hate myself for this, but under different circumstances, her and I would have been good friends. She seemed ashamed and honestly looked lost. She's not that much younger than my husband and I. We're 33 and 34 and she's 28, but grew up sheltered by her religious parents. I asked her what she was going to do with the baby and she got quiet. I don't know what I thought she was going to say, but it certainly wasn't her asking me to leave him. She said that once her boyfriend finds out that he'll leave her and her parents will cut her off for having a bastard baby and that she can't do it on her own and that I'll get a nice settlement and start fresh. God help me, but I laughed harder than I thought I could have while she started crying. These past 2 months have been testing my sanity and I don't have much left in me. Once I calmed down, I told her that I will not leave him. If she wants to have the baby, we'll figure out support and custody, but that was about it. She started crying harder in the middle of the cafe, but hell, we were already getting looks from my unhinged laughing and begged me to leave him. I told her that I won't. My husband and I have been together since I was 14 and he was 15. We stuck together through high school, got engaged and married through our BAs and masters, have 2 beautiful kids together, and we're trying for more. I won't throw all of that away just because she spread her legs and he slept with her. He's all I've ever known. I don't remember a life without him in it. And let's just say I agreed to leave him, then what? He'll marry her and she'll take over my life and be in my kids' lives, raising them half of the time? I didn't let her get a word in and I was crying by the time I was done with my rant. And I left her there. She was sobbing too. My husband and I already talked with a lawyer for a paternity test and we're waiting on that before we do anything else. My husband sent her a text with my contact information and told her all communications are to be through me before he blocked her number. I didn't ask him to do that, but he's trying. I just don't know where to go from here if it does turn out to be his. What should I do?